Okay, so let's talk about your assignment. Your assignment, we've been looking at all of this poetry. We've done TP cast, right? All of these detailed things. We've talked about songs. Your assignment is going to be to write your own poem, right? Now, that poem will be written in what is called free verse poetry. You might know what free verse is. Absolutely. It's not like a haiku, which has 17 syllables. There's no structure. It's not a limerick, right? You can write it however you want, okay? And I personally think free verse poetry is the best poetry. It just, to me. You can write it however you want. You can write it on whatever subject matter you want. Now, what I will say is whatever you write it on, you have to be comfortable enough sharing it with your classmates. Okay? If you want to write something that you only want me to see, fine, write it for me, but write something else to share with your classmates. Okay? You will be required to share it with your classmates. Every year, I do a poetry slam. Most of you have escaped all of my presentations this year because of COVID. I just haven't had enough time to get to you. I got enough time now. So next week when you come in, you see that speaker right there? That'll be set up. My microphone will be up here. Bought me a new mic stand. I took my other one home because I put it in the studio. Yeah.
They can hear us though. Perfectly fine without the microphone.
Let me tell you something, Fish Nuggets. My question is this. I don't know why students are so afraid of that microphone. Why? What is it about speaking on the microphone that just makes people like, I mean, yes, you're in front of the class, but you still talk like, you say they can hear you. I've done this for years. There will always be people who get up here and go.
Okay, but what about the people that actually do speak loud and like?
Then it's all good. Not only
So
do
they
your
don't.
classmates get to hear you, but 2 classes down they get to hear you. Right? So that'll be set up as well. Okay, the microphone will be set up. Now, I'm aiming, let's shoot for like, you should be up here at least like, a minute and a half, right? It shouldn't be like, my poem was 2 lines long and I'm done, right? I will ding you on your points. I will tell you this assignment, especially if you haven't been turning in stuff, this assignment is worth a lot of points. I got it in for 50 points right now in the grade book. Could be more. Depends on how many people decide they don't want to do it. People start saying, yo, I'm not going to do it because I'm too afraid to stand in front of the class. I'm going to make it worth 75. More people keep saying, I'm not going to do it because I want to stand in front of the class. I'm going to make it worth 100. So that it hurts if you don't do it. Okay? They say, Henderson, why would you do that? Because, look, every year when I do this, I have my former students come back to me and say, Henderson, man, I'm so glad you made me talk in front of the classroom. Now I'm a senior and I got to give these presentations and I'm no longer nervous about being in front of the class, right? Because I forced them to do it. In a normal year, I would force you at least 3 times. This year, you get 1, probably. You probably get this one time. So it can be about whatever you want. And when I say whatever you want, I mean whatever. I have people write poems that are sad. I have people write poems that are funny. I have people write poems that are, really deep. And what I love about the Poetry Slam is there is always someone who shocks you. Because I know you as students, but I don't know you the way your friends know you. I don't know you the way your parents know you, right? And poetry is kind of one of those outlets where you kind of get to look behind the curtain and know a little bit more about people and their personality. So I never forget one year I had this kid named Freddie in my class, and Freddie, last I knew Freddie was working at Walgreens. But I had this kid named Freddie, and Freddie was the most quiet kid you'd ever met. Never said anything. And when he did speak, he would stumble over his words a lot. It was almost like he had really heightened anxiety and he would be really nervous, for no reason, right? And when we did our poetry slam, Freddie sat, he sat right where Megan sits. Freddie came up here and had class, 30 kids in the class, this is a normal year. Freddie came up here and did his poem. And it was like, when he got done, the entire class exploded. Freddie, what? Like, it was so shocking. It was so deep. It was so well thought out. It was like, I didn't know that kid had that in him, right? That's not every case, but it's just every once in a while you get shocked by something like that. And you get to learn stuff about your classmates, okay? So, you're gonna be able to write a poem about whatever you want. Any questions about that? We'll probably dive into it next week. So that means you're gonna have today's class, what I give you left of it, or you might not have today's class, but you'll have tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all to write, okay? And kind of pin down what you want to write about. So it's okay if you don't know what you want to talk about right now. You have a little bit of time. I'm not gonna make you memorize your poem. Just write it down, have a piece of paper, okay? Come up here and say it. For you to get credit from me, you will have to like take a picture of it or something and submit it on Canvas when the time comes, all right? If you don't present it, your poem doesn't count. Yes? What's that? I'm gonna aim for next week. Let's just aim for Monday. Let's just plan on Monday, okay? Now to give you a little bit more background, it depends on how far we get today, but to give you a little more background, have any of you ever participated in spoken word or poetry slam before? Never? You have? It's kind of cool. I've done it lots of times. Like I've gone to poetry slams and, you know, recited poetry at poetry slams and whatnot. It's kind of a cool atmosphere. We don't have as many poetry slams around here, but like when I used to live in New York, there used to be poetry slams all the time, all over the place. You just go, sit down. It's really, really interesting. So I'm gonna give you guys some examples of spoken word poetry. It's all predominantly free verse, and I'm gonna try to show you a few different poets with different backgrounds. Okay, just try to diversify it, people with different styles and whatnot, so you can kind of get an idea for what it is that you want to do. Okay. As far as subject matter, let's try to keep it school appropriate, within reason. Right? Within reason. Right? I don't really care what you write about. I'm pretty lenient with that type of stuff, but it shouldn't be like, you know, F-bomb, 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 F, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you had a curse word, I'm not encouraging you to curse, but I'm saying if you had a curse word in there, I probably wouldn't bite your head off, okay? All right, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go ahead and show you some examples